Welcome to Focus TV for our community today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Focus TV. My name is Gwendolyn Bork. I'm the president of Focus for our community unity and support, and we are the Lancaster Depew Addiction Prevention Coalition. This is our second educational workshop in our prevention series, Addiction Prevention 101 series. This month, we are presenting on cultural capacity, how to engage diverse community stakeholders, 2, how to develop and strengthen a prevention team, and 3, how to raise community awareness about the issue. So what we follow is a federally approved framework from our partners over there at SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, and they developed what's called the Strategic Prevention Framework. And from that, or also referred to as the SPF, the SPIF flower, we use that as our framework, that is our baseline in order for us to be effective in population level change. So when we were awarded the Drug-Free Communities Grant, it's a 5-year grant, the federal government already knew through the White House Office of Drug Control Policy that this grant is offered through. They knew that it had to be a long-term grant. So it's 5 years. And why was it 5 years? Because you cannot create community level change, population level change in a short period of time, in 1 year. So it's a 5-year grant. And our goal is to be educated and equipped in this process and to help our coalition members, our partners, our sponsors, our volunteers also to understand this process. So at our last meeting we always have our meetings on the second week of the month. It's always the second Tuesday from 4 to 5. We had our strategic partners out of New York State. They're called the Western New York Prevention Resource Center. They present on this topic, and I take that topic that we were focused on, and I divulge a little bit more and in a specifics as it pertains to our coalition, our actual organization. So I'm going to share my screen today. As I mentioned, it's all about cultural capacity. You know, what does that mean? How does it affect us? What does that have to do with our baseline efforts as an organization? And what does that look like for you who may be watching, who could be interested or who is currently engaged? So if you were to go to the Prevention Science tab on our website and you go to Prevention Science, this is it. This is the Strategic Prevention Framework, or the SPIF, as you may hear it, developed by our Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. They're the federal office for all the things that we do as an organization to be effective. So last month, we talked about what this framework is, and you'll notice the very first little petal to this flower, as some may call it, is building capacity. Their description of capacity is to build local resources and readiness to address prevention needs. What do you have to work? So basically, guys, you know, when we started, when I stepped in as president of this organization, voted in December 2018, 2019, January, I brought in all the resources I could possibly think of from my previous non-for-profit that I co-founded called IKNOW, Ignite, Hope, and Nurture Outreach. So Nurture Our Opportunity. It's an addiction recovery non-for-profit. We had been in the addiction recovery space for about 5 years. I'm trained in addiction on the New York State level. I'm trained to teach other people in addiction, but recovery looks a lot different than prevention. Either way, I brought all my resources to the table, from addiction, you know, doctors and specialists to mental health counselors, treatment centers, you know, other recovery coaches. I brought everybody to the table on that first meeting. And, you know, you'll see that on that first meeting, we had close to probably 50 people show up to learn about what this organization was going to do, how we were going to do it, and then kind of move forward in more silos of, who can focus on what. So as you can imagine, one of the greatest things about capacity, it's all about resources and readiness. You need resources in order to be ready to go and create that impact that you're looking for in the community. So resources, it includes anything in a community that can establish and maintain a prevention effort that can respond effectively to local problems. Our grant is specific to Lancaster and Depew. Those are our targeted communities. We have other coalitions like ours that work with their school districts, with their zip codes of their students. And it's done on purpose because you want to know the community. You have to dive into that community. You have to extract people from the community in order to be effective. So what are resources? They're people, staff, volunteers. These people maybe specialize in certain knowledge and skills. Maybe we have people that collect data and are researchers and analysts. Maybe these are community connections. They give us access to population groups. Like one person I can think of, Sally Steyer from her own company. Her organization, the Clarity Group. She works with the Lions Club. The Lions Club has volunteers. They're a civic service group. They want to help other organizations. She's a great community connection. There's a lot of others too. Concrete supplies, money, equipment, technology. Okay, who works at a big corporate office where they can maybe give us that old computer that they didn't know? Or, what other not-for-profits serve that community? We worked with EdTech of Western New York. These are a bunch of IT and cybersecurity individuals that refurbish computers and then help them be donated to not-for-profit communities who could use them. We received laptops from them in order to engage and help us be effective. So what kind of concrete supplies? That's a resource. What kind of technology do we need? We have to pay every year for Microsoft 360 to have Word in the business suite of all the programs that we need to be effective. We need a printer, simple things. What else? Community awareness about local substance misuse problems, high rates of opioid or overdose. So who would know about that? Law enforcement, right? Well, that's why we pair with law enforcement. They can tell us, certain rates this year versus last year. We pair with the school resource officers. That's the law enforcement sector is one of 12 sectors that we work with to help us be effective. So that community awareness about what's happening is crucial, right? So the school resource officers, they can tell us, hey, last year we had this many, drug incident related type of incidents. We know that out of that percentage, it was, this age or this grade of a student. So we can identify then, if you can identify the problem, you can identify the need, right? And lastly, it's existing efforts to address those problems and policies. So, as Western New York Prevention Resource Center, Maura Stack, as she shared her training in person at the last meeting, she broke these down into three things: human, fiscal, and organizational. That's our resources. That's what capacity is. It's human capital, it's fiscal capital, grants, donations, fundraisers, stuff like that. And then organizational, what's our mission and vision? What are our policies? What is our structure? How many committees do we have? And what technology do we use to deliver our processes organizationally? So people, right? I started off saying 50 people came to the table to the first meeting. Now, and I wonder if it's on our website here. See this right here? This little, and it doesn't show you the top, but this is a very important graphic. It shows you, local problems require local solutions. This is another one from SAMHSA, or this one would be from CADCA, which is another organization that we work with. I don't know if it's on here, but we need people from every sector of the community. So this was research that was already done that we learned about. And those 12 sectors or those 12 stakeholders of the community, they all need to be sitting at this table. So just imagine this graphic right here with all little buildings. That's a table. It's a boardroom. You need someone from every one of these sectors sitting at the table to help us understand what's going on, to provide, human capital, to provide resources, the, fiscal capital, and those organizational pieces for us to be effective. Law enforcement, civic groups, faith-based organizations, healthcare professionals. We have Deb LaBounty, Spectrum Health, huge resource for us. When we're preparing, we're going to be preparing for a virtual vitality health and wellness seminar coming up. Deb's going to bring to the table some really valid research on PTSD within youth. What is going, what are the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder? How does that look now that we're 2 years into a pandemic and these students' lives have been hugely affected? I mean, massively affected. We're not getting out of the woods on this, guys. This is going to be a long period of time where we're going to have to undo these effects if they continue. This pandemic continues to have a factor on the way that life was and how it is. So you add all those things together, that's what helps us as an organization. And with that being said, our human capital is immense. We have on our board, Audrey Hamrick, the trustee of Depew. We have Laura Kolka, an attorney with, Goldberg Sagala. We have Mackenzie Gowell, a youth influencer from Depew High School. The human capital within our organization is fantastic. What we've been working on is the fiscal, right? We know that we have a 5-year grant with the Drug Free Communities grant. We also know in that 5 years, we have to be sustainable to a certain degree. Are we going to have enough money to have, staff people full time? I don't know that. But you know what? We're pushing for it, which is why we created the Focus Foundation. With this and this legacy partner program, it helps us to prepare for that break off of public assistance so that we can have some sort of fiscal sustainability to keep the website up, keep all these things, all this data that we've done since the 2018-2019 school year, the prevention needs assessment surveys, the reports, that were provided from that, the previous reports from 2010, 2014, 2019 on past drug use. We have a huge report system on all these reports: Depew, Lancaster, vaping surveys, key informant interview reports, focus group reports, vaping reports, our annual slideshow. All that data cannot be for naught. We need it available to our people to the community for a long period of time, because you need data to be effective. So the goal with the Focus Foundation, by having a program where we have people come to the table to support us fiscally on an annual basis. You can do it one time or just continuously. That is building up a foundation, which will give us a percentage back every year to take care of the very basic things: website, phone, email. That's it. Whether or not, at that point, that's our main goal. If we have any more, fantastic, But look at our partners. We have Chick-fil-A, Transit and Lawson, Top Friendly Markets, Deb Glowney and Bank on Buffalo. She's the manager of Bank on Buffalo. Robert E. Schaff Insurance, Sally Steyer of the Clarity Group, Mike Kelleher of Hogan Willock, 99 Brick Oven. And look at all these legacy partners, these gold partners: the Rotary Club, the Bounty Family, the Lancaster and Depew Teachers Association. And lastly, if you don't have a good set of policies, how can you really be effective, right? So we're constantly tweaking. How can we be effective? How can we create that little pitch, the 15-minute elevator, or the 15-second, the 30-second, the 1-minute elevator pitch to our local community, so that we can continuously build capacity? Not everybody can stick around, right? Which is why we do events. We're trying to build capacity. We did the Great Escape Room Challenge on Friday, the 22nd, for parents and teens. Hey, you teen, if you want to come to a free escape room, bring your parent. I'll pay for, Focus will pay for you and your parent to participate. Great team building event. We had 8 people. A lot, teens from Lancaster, Depew, even West Seneca, now they know who we are, and it gives them an opportunity to work with us long term, not only the parent, but the teen. We're going to keep doing that to build the parent and the youth capacity sectors of our organization. We need them at the table, and kids constantly graduate. So that's a revolving thing all the time. And then coming up also, we have our community appreciation event, which is right here. So this is to recognize our legacy partners, but it's also to, hey, you legacy partner, hey, you coalition member or board member or volunteer, bring somebody with you that can help us, that can provide services for us for in-kind donations or monetary donations, and become a new legacy partner to help us be sustainable. There's always something that you do that could be important to us, okay? We all have value, everything that we do, and we just need to find it. So if you don't know where you fit or how you could fit, then please go to our contact us page, create a contact form, and we'll reach out to you and have that conversation. What are your skills? What is your passion? And how can we meet your skills with your passion to fulfill our goal and our mission of reducing youth substance use in our community and creating a drug-free community? So thank you guys for coming, Focus TV, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.